Here we go again. So, this time we are making eggs in a variation of, there's gonna be a new classic. There's ham in there, there's salami meat, there's sun-ripened tomatoes, there's kale, and there's some ground beef and turkey. So it's already there steaming and going. So I know people have requested to put the recipe on the description, and I'm still working on that. I'm writing it down, and I've been working on different projects and trying to create different playlists and things for the channel. So I'm working on it, and I wasn't even going to record this. I was just going to just make myself something to eat, and it just started turning out pretty good, and I just couldn't I just couldn't go without recording it. So thank you so much always for the support, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's steaming a lot, so it's usually ends up even fogging up the camera sometimes. I'll see if I can get a better angle. Might have to reduce the heat. Need to, so actually now I need to, the reason I had covered it is that it could warm up faster. So let me just reduce the heat for a minute so that will, it won't steam as much. So the point was, and these are eggs that are slow cooking, and I have them sunny side up. And I usually wait until, I can turn it slightly on. I usually wait until I'll notice the sides are crispy and the middles nicely, cooked to my liking. And then this time we'll use some Colby Jack blend. So we use some Colby Jack, and I usually take that and sprinkle it on the top, and then I'll either have it on low or let the steam that was remaining or the heat that was remaining to melt the cheese. So then the cheese just will melt right on the eggs and it won't go anywhere else. Usually you can cook the cheese more. You could actually fry the cheese too. That actually makes it good. But usually I still do the same technique. But then once it gets once it's melted nicely, I let it cool down first, and then warm up the oil nice and hot again, and then flip it. So that will really sear the cheese really good without having it break down and change into different oils and separate how the cream and curd separates. So usually that's how I'll do that one. This one, now that the heat's, I reduce the heat, you can see the the dish is coming together. So really all that's left to do is to reduce the water. Usually I've realized the water tends to give food more of a boiled, simmered, hospital food taste. I guess that's the best way to say it. But it's still, it's usually when there's more water on it, it'll tend to not be as flavorful. So usually I'll turn it back up now that it's able to showcase it. So usually cooking on higher heat makes a big difference too. So usually I'll reduce the water until it starts to stick, or usually you can start to hear it sputter. Usually at first I'll fry, usually the fry, and usually collects that's what collects into the juice and gives it a very unique flavor. So when some of the meats I have them cooking under, some of them I'll have them on the top. So they usually will end up different consistency to them. Same with the tomatoes and things. But it's usually some of this stuff's been pre-cooked. It's made in a different time. So what I've been planning on doing is just creating it like I did the other day from scratch. And then I can showcase the whole process. I can use actually real meats rather than using this thinly sliced meat. You could do it with any meats. You can take the meats and get it at the store, take it to the dairy, and they'll slice it thin for you. So, these options there. But for me, really, these are just meals that I like to make pretty quick, pretty fast, at less of a cost, and less of a time. And they come out, for anybody that's ever tasted anything I've made, they've had great reviews. And I mean, I've, I've I've been blessed. I've been around different kitchens and around different people, and this, I've taken lessons as I go. And so this really, it started out as a friend that can't cook, and every time I would go, they would want me to cook for them, and I would usually throw whatever they had on there. I'd find something, throw it together, and it was always quick. So usually they mention, hey, why don't you just, make the videos when you're cooking and send them to us? And I was doing that, then I realized, it's a lot easier because sometimes you send it, they don't have enough memory on their phone. And so I thought, well, I'll put them on YouTube and then I'll just send it to them, send the links and all that. And somehow, some way, I realized there's, people that have been on my list there that are interested in it. And I just started making more of every time I would cook something, I would just put it on here and record. So as you can see, the moisture is reducing very quickly too. So usually when I'm moving it that way, it's just pretty much to give the liquid more surface area and for it to escape. So at this point, the best thing to do is to reduce the heat, because if not careful, it could burn. It could easily burn, and that's not what you want. So once it starts sticking that way too, that's a telltale sign of the liquid being sucked out, and you really don't want it all the liquid off anyway, because that's gonna, I'll turn it off, because that's gonna, and usually if you turn it off and cover it, it would at least reserve, you want still, a slight bit of moisture. You don't want it to be totally dry. So then these eggs are just about right. I'd like them to be cooked just slightly more, but I'll do the turning over this time. So even if the yolk is not, and sometimes the yolk might look like that, by the time you see the bubbles coming up on the top, they've gotten a lot of the heat in, even though they're not done yet. But usually by the time you could see the bubbles though. So they could get done, you could get the eggs, if you cook them slow enough, they'll be done and they'll still look just like that. Sunny side up. Some people like it this way. For me, I usually cover it with a lid, and then you'll help the egg cook quicker on the top. So then you'll be, when you cut it into it, then you still have runny, but cooked, cooked runny, not like raw runny. So now this step here, we'll take I'll try in one hand this here. If anything, if it doesn't work, I just have to pause it and repause it. Yeah, I just pause it. I couldn't do it in one hand. Alright, I'm back. What I was trying to do is to open the bag with cheese. I was having slight problem trying to do it with one hand. So I'll get a pretty good amount, and I'll just like a whole pinch. I'll take it and I'll add it onto it, and usually some of them escape to the side. It's no big deal. I can take them and put them actually back on top, and some of them, as you can see, it's already starting to melt itself. So usually I'll cover this I'll cover it up, let it go for, I'll turn it up slightly more. I'll cover it, let it go for like 2 minutes, and then I'll be back to flip it and show you how the results go. So back again, and as you can see already, the cheese that ran out and the one that's on the side is getting the golden color but not burnt. So the next step here is to flip it with this handy dandy spatula. Take it. I don't want to splash the oil everywhere. So I'm going to try to do it carefully here. Because I usually hold it in my hand, but I can't do it with that. I can't do it without it. I didn't splash anything, but the camera obviously was panned differently. But so that's that, and that cheese is gonna be nice and crunchy too. It's blue cheese. So usually I'll add the heat slightly high up again, and let it cook a little bit more and grill, and then that should have it ready. Because then I'll turn the heat down, because if you try to move it while it's still plenty hot, it has a tendency to stick to the pan. But if you just let it it's getting one camera. So, but then on the other hand, what I'll do is I'll plate it on some cheese. I'll plate on some cheese and some spinach. So I don't like the taste of kale that's not cooked. So sometimes it goes good with some things, but not in this case. So then I'll flip the egg and I'll top it. I'll cut it because it's a couple of servings. I'll take it, I'll cut it, and add it to the dish. And then I'll actually first cook the food there. Then I'll add the eggs, and we'll be done with this. And so there we have it. So as you can see, the egg, the cheese cooked pretty good, fried good. It's still juicy inside. It's still I have to try and see this well. I can't see. As you can see, it's still, so it's got the crunch, but it's still cheesy. And you can see the other ingredients inside, like the salami meat and the ham and the tomatoes there and the meats. And that's how I go about making a simple meal. And really I could record it from start to finish, and it would take a very slight amount of time. I only had to pause here and there. So, you know, so with the prepared ingredients, it's very quick, but the only prepared ingredients are the meat. So really you can use just oil itself, use a can of broth. You know, these are different options to just cut a few onions, fry them, and add the ingredients. So thank you so much always for the support, and thank you so much, and have a blessed week.